We have men's, ACCs, and so here are some of the unique things about this. You have the freshman phenom, or I guess he was a high school phenom, Max Williamson, who was 41-0, 100 free out of high school, 42-0 at this meet. 132-2 free, and then you have a 140 IM, that's his A cut, so he's going to be able to swim both of his events. But we've talked about Todd and coaching guys versus coaching girls.
Have we?
I think we barely touched on it.
I don't think we've talked about it publicly.
Okay, that might be what I'm thinking of. Okay, well, what do you think about this?
Oh, you gonna set me up
or par for the course?
How are you gonna set me up like that after you already set me up on Monday?
You clearly know more than I do, so.
Nah, you gotta take that one. I want to hear your thoughts on that first. Set me up. Nice try.
I think, and this is no diss to anybody. I'm just being impartial. It takes a special coach to do both. And I think your standard has to be the men. Whatever the women are going to do, it has to be men driven. I truly believe this because, we had some rough coaching experiences here in Austin, and I think a few girls have trained with us, but the standard wasn't like coaching them like girls. Like they were coached like the guy team. And when I watched the Unfiltered Water, shout out to them, their podcast with Todd, a lot of his mannerisms go over very well with women, right? So, fake laughing at their jokes, right? Guys we ain't with that. So it's things like that, unless he's just completely bipolar and then he's a completely different character with the men's team, but then they train together also. You see what I mean? Men need a leader, and you can't do that with, I don't want to say effeminate because I don't think they're effeminate, but that's the closest word I can get to, things. You can't, you got to have that out of you, right? You think about guys who have won national titles, you have Eddie, you have Dave Marsh, you have Brett Hawk, you have Arizona boys, which from what I understand is a hyper masculine culture over on their men's team, or back then it was. Anyways, Cal, right? I remember somebody told me individually they're cool, but together they're a bunch of assholes, right? There's nothing sweet about that, That's a competitive edge. So, yeah, so it's you that type of temperament, and girls, at least I coach from a masculine standpoint, and all the girls I've ever coached have said amazing things about me. Once I stop coaching them and I'm off in the world, they send me an email or whatever, and they're hey, we really thank you for coaching us, or a card or something. So yeah, I don't think you can mentally lead men with traits that are preferential to coaching girls.
Okay.
What do you think about that? Now that I've aired myself out.
Well, yeah, you had me air myself out with Bob Bowman last recording, so
yeah, I did kind of tee you up on that one.
Yeah, that was bad. But that's what we do here at Night Swim. We tell you what it is. And I've always been skeptical of coaches that have more success with one gender over the other, whether it's the men's team is dominating and the women's team is or the women's team is dominating and the men's team is forgotten about. I'll give you a prime example. That happened at Kentucky after I left with that coach, Lars Jorgensen. Don't even want to say his name. Yes, that's the dude who got the whole thing sued and all the disgusting stuff came out about him. But he was very successful with the women's team, and the men's team was horrible.
Yeah.
You know, so it was always like that was always sketch to me. You know, why can you only train one? Why can you only be successful with one gender? Like,
Yeah.
what factor are you missing? And I remember there was this interesting, my buddy who was a strength coach, he told me the biggest difference when he was coaching males versus, females was that, like, when you coach women, they take direction very well. They do exactly as you say. They'll ask proper questions, and they'll do it.
Yeah.
The cons are sometimes women want to feel special. So they will
Make some shit up.
Yeah, sometimes they'll fake an injury or be like, oh, my shoulder hurts today, so I need a special lift to work around my injured shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, they'll do little things like that. So for attention or to feel special. So you got like 5 girls doing 5 different things in the weight room for no reason.
The chick politics.
Right. And then on the men's side, he said, look, men will eventually do what you say, but they will challenge you on it before they do it. And I always thought that was interesting. He's like, it's almost like they want to test you to see, can you actually lead me? Do you know what you're talking about? Like, are you competent? Like, I'm not just going to blindly follow you because you're a man.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why a lot of, I think that's why it's difficult to be a woman coaching men.
I was about to ask you that. I was thinking about that just now.
Because here's the biggest mistake that female coaches make when they coach men. They try to come in overly masculine to dominate the male instead of like just being a normal person.
Yeah, being one of the bros.
Yeah. So I remember we had this female coach when I was in college, and she wasn't the most liked amongst the men's team. And it was because she would try to throw her weight around, and we basically just felt disrespected constantly.
Right.
So no one wanted to respect her because it seemed like she didn't respect anybody with the way she came at you, But then on the other hand, our weight coach was also a female, and we would have taken a bullet for this lady. So whenever someone would be like, oh, you guys just don't like her because she's a woman. It's like, no, because we respect the hell out of Coach Tracy. Like, we'll go to war for Coach Tracy. So what is Coach Tracy doing with us that's, so-and-so is not doing? It's night and day.
One thing I think that's interesting about this, because we're going to talk about dating a little bit right here. I think it's an interesting parallel, is when I see like the girls like that I run into in like the wild or whatever, it's like let's start with like the equality, right? Feminism, right? It's about being equal. So when they date certain guys, right, the thing that they leave with is like the negative thing, right? That's the feeling that really burns. So they're like, oh, this is how guys behave. As an equal, this is how I should behave, right? So you end up like, it took me a long time to figure out, because I was like, what is going on? Like, things changed in 2020. I could never figure out why. And it was like, man, like, these girls are behaving like with like the worst parts of the dudes that they have dated. So we bring this to coaching, right? It's almost like, and this is just my perspective on this, or perception, I should say. It's almost like, what do women want? More. Okay. So it's like the good things that they get from a male coach almost are like not even clocked. right? But they see the negative thing. And it's like, okay, I need to add these things to my game. And then, but you don't, they're like almost unaware of the counter side of that in a good guy coach, because there are some guy coaches who are just total dickheads. So then you end up with a girl coach, and it's like they're only doing the negative things that they remember, and then that they saw the coach do to everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like what happens. And, you know, I remember this, like, what's the phrase? They're like, a man who's aggressive, or a man who goes, or man coaching or managing people is seen as a leader, whereas a woman's seen as a bitch. Have you ever heard that before?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
So that's basically what it is, right? Like they only see the negative parts and they added it on, but it's like there's so much more that you have to have with coaching guys. Because if you just come in here with your chest poked out, acting like you run the place, and just start like only the negative side, like
right,
you will create a lot of enemies. And especially, I think this is a very key thing. As a guy, and this is just in general, like it's not just men to women. Anybody who's like I perceive as weaker than me, bossing me around, I have an issue subconsciously, right? And this isn't a girl thing. This is just anybody that's like, it's like, why are you talking to me like this? Like, you're in danger.
right.
You know, it's like the first time when you're 13. I'll never forget it. When my mom was spanking me, we were visiting my grandma, and I caught the belt. It was like in that moment, I was like, oh, she can't stop me.
I have the power.
Yeah. And then, you know, she proceeded to really whip my ass. But
yeah,
it's just like, it's like, yo, like there, you can't come into a situation like that and just be an a-hole, you know?
Right. That's, yeah. I even, you know, even in my outside life of swimming, you know, being a manager of people, I kind of noticed similar traits too in the workplace. You know, it's women tend to follow directions much better than men. And the men need to size you up first to see if you are capable of leading men. So I almost feel like it's easier to coach women. It's easier to coach women, but it's also harder to coach women. It's easier to coach women on the input. So, but it's harder on the output, and I'll explain. Because it's easier to give women, you know, the workout, the sets, tell them what to do, change your stroke, whatever, and they'll receive that input. What's hard about coaching women is that if what you're inputting isn't producing results, then they're going to get in their head, and you have to deal with the emotional after effect.
Right.
That's hard. That's hard, especially for men who can't relate to those type of feelings. Because like, I remember I trained at the University of Miami back in, I think 2010 through 2012, and it was an all women's team.
Only girls team.
Yeah. So it was me and Brandon Whitehurst. You remember Brandon Whitehurst?
Yeah.
So we were training in Miami. So we were the two dudes in a couple women training. And just like some of the mental gymnastics that those girls would put themselves through. And it's like, dude, you're having a great season. What do you like? Chill, like enjoy it. It's like, oh, like I didn't feel good on that race, and I got to go back to the weight room, or I got to go taper. I didn't taper enough. I didn't do. It was like just watching them get in their head and then spiral and then almost sabotage themselves. So, you know, it was very fascinating. Completely different than training with men.
Yeah. So I, as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, how do we get to coaching girls? And it's because we're talking about the UVA men. So I guess to kind of tie it back in, on the flip side, what do you think the issue is going on with Todd to men's team? I think he's probably gotten so good at that side that he's, you know, like the same code of success as a not even a masculine or feminine energy, but just like a presence is not being received.
Yeah, it's also like,
based on performance results.
mhm. But I'll even take it more to like a human level. Like people, okay, I'll give an example. I've been doing CrossFit for a couple of weeks now, and the way CrossFit is broken up into two workouts. Like the first workout is more of like a strength based workout, so you got like hang cleans, snatches, power cleans, squat, and then after that, it's more of like a cardio based workout of like your typical CrossFit, like
Right.
50 burpees, bunch of push-ups, run a 400, come back, jump over this box, do this, do that. As a drop dead sprinter, I am not good at the cardio shit. In fact, I absolutely hate it. But I dominate in the strength section. So I come in. If I don't see anything that has to do with a barbell on the workout, I don't go to the gym. I just go to the pool. I'm like, nope, I'm not lifting today. Fuck that. So, long story short, I put all of my focus and attention on the strength portion because I like to see my name up on the leaderboard. And then I completely disregard and drag my feet through the cardio section and just get through it and just go through the motions because I'm not going to get the results I know I can get elsewhere. Naturally, as humans, when we know we're not good at something, we either avoid it or just go through the motions and spend our energy where we're wanted, where we produce. So subconsciously, that could be happening.
You know what? You made me think about something else too. Playing favorites.
Yeah.
You know, if you
Kind of the same
get all
vein.
this success, and then you probably feel like this is a total guess, America, that you're getting more attention from the other coaches than the, billion-time national championship winning head coach. You're gonna feel some type of way. And I mean, when I work with the kids, like I always tell them, like, protect your mind at all costs. And sometimes they're like, and at the same time, I tell them, like, but hey, always remember that ignorance is bliss. Like, sometimes you don't want to know things, and that's fine. But eventually, once you know, you need to make the right decision. And I think that has to have some type of effect on your belief in what you can do and in your training. If it's clear that one group is favored over, or that you're not an equal, I guess is the right word, and which translates into a lack of importance based on, who's getting the love.
Right. They could feel like two different teams within the same team.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, I've seen that and I've witnessed that. It's not good.
Yeah. I would like to see, like, because when Unfiltered Waters did their episode, I would have liked to, they spent a lot more time talking about obviously the women's team and then like the dual practice or the combined team, but they didn't go into like the men's side. Like I'd love, and then even on Instagram, right? You don't really see a lot of how he interacts, at least I've never seen it, with the men's team,
right?
As a masculine energy, right?
The Walshes and the Cruzans dominate, the cycle.
Yeah, exactly. So I just like to see that because I definitely could, figure it out. That stuff is pretty easy.
And the UVA men used to be.
Yeah, they were the ones.
Right. They used to be them boys.
Yeah. What was his name?
I was hoping you didn't ask.
Matt McLean. There was another kid, a short guy, sprinter, who's like 48'9".
Is that Scott Robeson?
Yeah, Scott Robeson. There you go. Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. And Matt McLean, I think he made the Olympic team in the 4x2. So yeah, shout out to those guys. But yeah, it's just anyway. So, but I got to give before we move on to the women's ACCs, which I guess we kind of almost just gave you both of them. Shout out to my boy Jeremy Kelly. I coached him at Zones when he was 11 years old. He was a young baller back then. I remember he got ninth, and this is when there was only an A final, and he was so pissed. And I was like, dude, look at the heat sheet. I was like, look at the age groups. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9. And I was like, you're tripping. Like, you're the fastest 9-year-old in this entire meet. Like, relax, bro. Like, I get it, but like you're in a great position.
Right.
But yeah, he was a Texas kid, life dream to go to UT. He got into UT, and then Bob came over, and then the roster size got cut down, and then he had to transfer out.
Oof.
So yeah, it's keep your head up, homie. You know, keep that Austin in you. You know, keep that Austin pride in you. You got it, dog.
Yeah, we'll be following.
Yeah, and then Kai Winkler, Stretch Armstrong. You know who this is?
Tell me.
So Kai, I don't know how tall he is. I want to say he's like 6'9" or something, 6'9", 6'10".
Jesus, wrong sport, buddy.
Yeah. Talk about his footwork, right? Probably why he's in swimming. But didn't have like a superstar year. So he was one of those like 41 low swimmers out of high school.
Damn.
Yeah. Real tall, like, and gangly, like, you know, there's the long, lean bones, and then there's like the bone or long, lean muscles, and then there's like the muscle that looks like it hasn't been used at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had those on 41. And kind of had a down freshman year, but then, you know, put his foot down. He swims at a NC State, 3A cuts, 2 free, 100 free, 100 back. So
turn up.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's, you know, some bright future ahead for USA Swimming in their sprint freestyles. You know, we still got 2 years. So a lot of these guys who aren't on the radar right now will, you know, his junior year, he's going to be somebody to, you know, keep an eye on for sure.
All right. Shout out.